Hello, gamers. Hello. We just went live. I already made a mistake. The title of the stream is What Antediluvian Terrors Reside in These Potent Potables? Alack, it is fruitless now. But we're actually going to start with the dulls because we always start with the dulls, but I'm going to leave the title the same. I'm just going to call it, it's going to be just chatting instead. It's kind of, some macabre vibes for no reason whatsoever except that we're playing Darkest Dungeon 2 afterwards. Okay, we're loading up the dulls. Thank you for your patience while I was late, by the way. Much appreciated. We're late but early. You know here's the thing, man. You know what it is? I have way more, this is just growing up. I have way more respect now for real people, like people who work real jobs, whose businesses are open on Saturday. Because that's pretty rare in the modern world. Unless you're like a restaurant or a retail outlet. Like we had to update our insurance. We made an appointment to do it on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. We went in and we did it. And there should have been like a tip option on the card reader. Like you didn't have to be here on a Saturday. You were here on a Saturday to make my life easier. And I appreciate that. Like here's an extra 10% or whatever. But every other real business that you have to interface with, sorry, like we had an important appointment today. You can't just ask like, hey, accountant, would you like to meet Sunday afternoon at 2:30 p.m.? I understand how it is. So the streamer always has to change their schedule. It's very hard being a streamer. It's probably one of the hardest jobs in the world in some aspects. You got to take time off for the dentist. I know that's insane to me. What percentage of like half days do you think are for dentist-based purposes? I bet it's like 25%. Because if people are going to be sick, they're going to take a whole day. Or if they have like a lot of stuff to do, they're going to take a whole day. A half day is like the domain of a dentist or a doctor's appointment. There must be like 25% of half days are for dentists. That's crazy. But then one of my friends is a dentist. I'm always like, I go to the dentist, but I'm like, fuck the dentist. The dude has the easiest job of all time. The dental hygienist does all the work, and then the dentist comes in and asks me if I floss. He's like a lie detector test, but only for whether or not I floss. He already knows the answer. Why are you even asking? But then my friend is a dentist, and he says, like, who would have thought? From the outside looking in, it's not as easy as you would think it is. He says he's got to work a lot of hours because he works at like a corporate dentist office, so they got to pay like fees into the combined accounts. It's not like in the old days you would just own your own practice or something like that, and it would be like, this is Dr. Bob's Dentistry. Nowadays, they're all called like, it's Leaf Hill Dentistry, and it's owned by some private equity corporation, and the dentists are actually getting crushed under the boot of capitalism as well. I didn't know. I didn't know the dentists were allies. I had no idea. Sounds like he's not a good dentist. I mean, he's 34. I think 34 is pretty young. I mean, as a dentist, you don't even really become like a dentist until you're like 28 or something like that, right? So what's crazy about being like a urologist? I think you graduate from, with your bachelor's degree, then you go to medical school, then you do your specialization in urology, you graduate and you're like 35 years old, and then you retire when you're 50. It's like we only get like a couple of years of seasoned urologists. I want a 49-and-a-half-year-old urologist if I ever have to see one. I don't want one who's 52 because I know he's got one foot out the door. And I don't want one who's 36 because I might be his first patient. It might be the first time he's ever seen one like mine before. I don't want that. Or do I? They call them the dulls if they're anything but. We're going to try to go quick today because we started the stream a little late today. Guess which country exports petroleum and bananas? I will tell you that my guess is that this is Venezuela. It is not Venezuela. Crustaceans. It's 1,500 kilometers southwest of Venezuela. Could it be Peru? Does Peru have crude petroleum? It's north of Peru. It's Ecuador. Hey, he knows South America. He knows South America. He's not washed. We got a little Venezuela bias because I get roasted for not guessing Venezuela whenever petroleum's one of the top exports, even when it's obviously not Venezuela. People are like, well, you underrate Venezuela. So now whenever there's anything that points to South America, I have to guess Venezuela. Otherwise, I'm not beating the Venezuelan hater allegations. Ecuador. It is not even close to Ecuador. They should give you, I mean, listen, the game is fine. It's great, actually. It's pure as is. But they should give you like one clue when you first guess. Because you can never get it on the first guess instead of like pure luck. In Tradle, you can at least take a little guess. Anyway, long story short, we're 9,000 kilometers away. Try me a little, that's not going to be Spain, brother. Give me Mali. That's even worse. Could it be New Zealand? Wow! He's insane! Guess number 3. Holy cow. CHIBLEE Nation! So true. By the way, don't even get me started. Corey made a tweet that we're playing London today. I had to tweet him and say, it's Tuesday, brother. London, everybody knows London's on Wednesday. London's a Wednesday thing. And then last week when we were doing Core Keeper, Sips had the time wrong by 1 hour. You know that for me, it's not just that I have to correct them. It's that it's a look into my future. Because this is what happens to men when they get older. They start messing up the days of the week a little bit. They start messing up the clock. That's why they ask you to draw one. Every streamer needs to be sent like a planner in the mail. I don't think they would use it, but at least then there wouldn't be an excuse. Okay, this is last summer, which is kind of crazy for me because I don't remember much of last summer. I definitely did not go see any movies in movie theaters. Had a big drop off week to week. I want to say this is the newest Jurassic World. Could this be Jurassic World Dominion? It's not. Let me get an actor. Pierre Coffin, animation family comedy. Pierre Coffin? It's got to be like a Minions, right? Is this the Rise of Gru? It is the Rise of Gru, okay? Wait, you're right, I got Jurassic World by accident. Holy cow. I also felt like that was not a year old, but it is Dominion. Jurassic World, Dominions. Can you define the word antediluvian? It's old as shit, I think that's the dictionary definition according to Webster. By the way, have you seen Merriam Webster on Twitter? They are grammar Andes are in shambles. No, you can't just use irregardless the same way you would use regardless. Merriam Webster. Yes, you can. No, the dictionary when I was in 3rd grade would never. This new woke mind virus dictionary is taking away my identity of being the guy who corrects everybody's grammar. Average today is 3.3 out of 5, by the way. It's tougher. We got Matthew McConaughey. We got Jared Leto. I don't know if Jared Leto's in any of these other movies. Seth Rogen is a gimme, now that I think about it. I feel like I saw a tweet that Seth Rogen in The Fablemans has intercourse with Steven Spielberg's mom. Okay. X, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Lone Ranger. I have no idea what the connection is here. And then, well, you know what? Why don't we take a look? Setting, Texas. That makes perfect sense. And then cast Seth. Oh, the new Lion King is Seth Rogen. Okay, right. He plays Pumbaa. And then the connection. X, Zach and Miri make a porno. The People versus Larry Flint and Boogie Nights theme the adult film industry. I thought X was about like a house party that goes wrong or something like that. Nope. I thought that's Project X. Oh. Oh. That's a tough one. I mean, we got 4 on a 3.3. I think that it was definitely, like, the 5 was gettable today, but I didn't get it. X is the Ty West before Pearl. I'm just going to be honest with you, Letterboxd Diamond member. I don't know what that means. Okay, guess the game. I'm telling you, I believe that I will get this guess the game today. This looks so familiar to me. I couldn't tell you what it is right away, but it looks so familiar to me. This looks like Hearthstone. That's what it looks like. Oh! I was like, I just imagine myself clicking on this and it going, puff, 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 tick, 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 puff, 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 waiting for, make your turn, make your move, motherfucker, make your move. Okay, I remember that. Something's not right with the ads, man. Why does the ad look so ghetto? Now we're talking. I'm waiting until I give you the good ad, okay? Nobody designed it? It's just text. This is Klonoa 2. This is Rayman. This is New Super Mario Brothers. New Super Mario Brothers U. This is New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Ah! You can tell because well, I guess it's just artwork. But I was like, the graphic design is horrendous. No disrespect. They did what they could with the Wii, okay? It's just a series of clip art. You ever see the tweet that is like, video game ads used to just be a highly filtered picture of somebody and then like a ransom font that said, "Are you fucking stupid?" That's what I think about every time I see like a video game advertisement from 1995 until about 2010. It's just a dude with like big goggles on and like his hair's popping out of his head. "Are you fucking stupid?" And then it's like Sonic Adventure 2. Ooh, hello, Jay. Hello. Was enjoying seeing some Fortnite last night. I know some people don't like the maximalist aesthetic of Fortnite, but when there was a big mosh pit of Gokus that were all hitting the gritty to someone drumming the licensed version of Master of Puppets, and then you as Luke Skywalker pulled out a stack of like dollar bills and then started making it rain on the Gokus, I was like, this game is kind of incredible. Like it's just, you know, some games are like a walled garden, right? They only let in some things. They get a highly curated experience, and that's great too. Fortnite was just like, come on in. Water's fine. We got Lydia Tarr. We've got Goku. We've got every dance ever invented. You want to see Abraham Lincoln hit the hype dance? By all means. This feels like 2009 or later. This is like, this dude is a time capsule right here. This is a kid in 2009. What did I tell you? It's crazy how far mankind went in the 20th century. Because like 1900, people would have lined up to see a train ride on the tracks. End of the 20th century, people are lined up to see a train that no longer rides on the tracks. This definitely, like, this looks like when I was in middle school. This is what people dress like for sure. Like, this guy could be like an uncle of mine. You're like a time traveler. This could be my grandma right here. Like, I feel like this is like 1997, 1996. This looks like Final Fantasy VII to me. 1990! Holy, nice camera. They're learning cursive writing, so this is probably like 1996. Now notice, by the way, this obviously it's older, but not every kid looks like Woodrow Wilson. This is in the post every photo turns you into Woodrow Wilson era. So we know we're not in the 1910s. You could go back. I know you're like, what are you talking about? Go back and look at like the one-room schoolhouse we had where every single kid looks like a presidential portrait of Woodrow Wilson. There's like I apologize. There's like an era of photographs where everybody looks like President Woodrow Wilson, and something happened. Like they invented a new kind of film that took off the Woodrow Wilson effect. But if you've ever seen Woodrow Wilson's like presidential picture, everybody in that era looks like Woodrow Wilson. Like this is just Woodrow Wilson. That was definitely Woodrow Wilson right here. It's another Woodrow like straight here. It is like a filter, man. This, on the other hand, this strikes me as like the late 1940s. Pop me down like 1948. We take those. This must be after the San Francisco earthquake, which was, I want to say, was like 1902. 1906. Okay, 3541. Not so bad in the whole scheme of things. Yeah, I would say the dulls have superseded Sporcle. Just because, like, Sporcle, the temptation is always to either go... It starts at whatever, and then it always becomes, who's this celebrity? Or it becomes, what's this food? Every single time. Or people are like, do one that's actually hard, and it's like, okay, Dutch monarchy, and then I get 0. That's no fun for me. Ugly ass neighborhood. No disrespect. Freaking brand new cul-de-sac. Looks like you could fry an egg on it. Then the cul-de-sac itself is not enough privacy. You got to actually have like another private driveway on the other side of it. It makes you want to throw up. I'm taking this down. I think it's a $700,000 house. That's too low. Okay, we've established our bounds. 3,000 square feet. I got to admit, it looks kind of nice on the inside for sure. This was a house I would go into and say, wow, your house is so beautiful. I like this too. I think they did a good job with the interior design. And a chair with a desk. Now we're talking. There's some functionality here. You put a mirror up there, boom, you got a vanity. You put a typewriter there, boom, you're Jack Nicholson in The Shining. It's perfect. 0.59 acres. Like a 3-car garage. What are you driving, you piece of crap? What are you driving? It's like a GMC. It's an Oldsmobile? Okay, I'm raising the price. It's a $1.65 million house. That's too high. Gated community with mountain and lake views. HOA offers RV and boat storage on site. 1.4 even. Oh, today's household was a tough one. It was 1.32. Oh. That's like 2 in a row I've missed. Household's supposed to be easy. I know people are like, oh, anti-HOA. I'm anti-HOA too, but at least that HOA gives you boat storage and RV storage. Most HOAs give you nothing except like a passive-aggressive letter on your front door that is like, oh, your grass is like slightly too high. This is Cristiano Ronaldo being gifted the Cristiano Ronaldo bust. I feel like this meme image has been around for a bit. I'm going to say this is like 2018, and I can only assume... Well, he played for Real Madrid, right? So I'm going to assume that this is in Spain and not in Portugal. You were off by a year, and also it was at the Madeira airport. Okay, fair enough. It's a man, perhaps a spy, making a call from a briefcase. I'm going to assume that this is around, we'll call this Watergate, circa 1974 in... This looks like London, England. Wait, but are they driving on the... No, this is England. This is not Watergate. This reeks of Piccadilly Circus. I don't know where that is. My reaction when the absolute madman thinks that Piccadilly Circus is in Holborn. Oh, I can't. Anyway. I don't know, you can't see this guy over here. He looks exactly like Jordan Schlansky. This still looks like the 70s to me. Pop it down. That's 1984. All right. Literally 1984. It's the Sex Pistols. They're on Carnaby Street. It's kind of a funny photo for sure. I have no idea where Carnaby Street is. Sir Harry, Lady Jane. Okay, I'm going to assume that it's in England. So let's assume this is London. Does Apollo do TimeGuessr? Because I wanna hear him say this is Tom York. There's a chance that he would be like, I'm pretty sure this is Radiohead. You don't think so? Cannon Street is probably near the corner of Cannon and Queen Victoria, if I had to guess. And I think that Nevermind the Bollocks came out like 1971 or something like that. 1976. All right. This is... It must be after filming the pilot of Breaking Bad in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Let's say that you were out here close to Isleta Pueblo. And this, I mean, it started airing, I feel like, in 2008 or something like that. So pop me down 08. It might be 07. It's 2013! The flashback scene in... Oh, you tricked me! For the flashback to the pilot in season 5? That's not fair! I would like to go from Venezuela to Nicaragua. Well, you gotta go straight up to Colombia first. That's a given. And then you gotta go to Panama. There's no other way. And here's where it gets a little tricky. Feel like next is Costa Rica. Oh! It's not hard at all. I was getting ready to be like El Salvador, Honduras. You know, I was ready to be bouncing around a little bit. Why did I think Costa Rica's an island? Because your first introduction to the word Costa was from Costa del Sol from Final Fantasy VII. I don't know, it's just a guess. I'm just speaking from like my own experience. That's not from Final Fantasy VII? Costa del Sol, Final Fantasy VII. Costa del Sol is a location in Final Fantasy VII. Well, how about that? It's the main port on the western continent and is also a coastal resort town. Who would have thought? So owned? Apologize! Chatter only played the remake, I bet. Well, in that case, we'll keep our mouths shut. They don't know that there's anything in the game beyond Midgar. Boy, I sure hope this whole Midgar story wraps up soon. I'm almost at the end of the game. I'm in Midgar Tower. LOL, clueless. Disc 1 Midgar Tower or Disc 2 Midgar Tower? What the fuck is Disc 2? Are you fucking stupid? Sonic Adventure 2. Oh, you're right. It is called Shinra Tower. That's my bad. You know, I had an intrusive thought today. It's just, imagine like a 1920s style, like Al Capone gangster with a gangster hat on and like a cigar and a Tommy gun. And he's pointing it at you. He's going to give you the Chicago typewriter. But the last thing he says to you is, rendezvous, now I'm through with yous. And that was just echoing through the empty chamber of my mind for like hours and hours while I was half asleep this morning. It's an old-timey henchman going, rendezvous, now I'm through with yous. Normal thought. It's because Promise by Eve 6 was on Kendall Tools' 30-minute 2000s rock ride. I don't think you pronounce the S in rendezvous. Yeah, you don't pronounce the S in you either. That's half of the joke. Welcome to Death's Door. Welcome to You're Dead. Now we just got two lads who are just gonna stress me out. Well, the joke's on you, honestly. I have a toddler, so you can't stress me out any more than I'm already stressed out, brother. Let me tell you, we should purge, or reflect, sorry. We should reflect to remove our blindness. My 2.5-year-old yesterday, she's going through this phase right now. She said, I don't like daddy. Then, a little later in the day, she said, daddy's not the best guy. And I said, who's the best guy? You won't believe her answer. Apparently it's mommy. I can't even win the only contest in which I am essentially the only competitor right now. So it's, you know, I gotta be honest with you, it does sting a little bit. It does sting a little bit. Yeah, I felt relatively owned, for sure. If you don't like a 2-year-old's opinion, wait a day. I'll level with you, that is damn true. I'm gonna give you a +2 for that one. Because then this morning, she was like, I love daddy again. She was like, I don't want to leave daddy. And I was like, well, you should have thought of that last night. Because last night, you were freaking torching me. What if you love a toddler's opinion? I would just say don't get attached to it. Breacher can't be removed at a field hospital because it's a positive? What the hell? Yo, Sarmenti, your stress is still too high.
Reliable information brings accurate insight.
That's wrong? Alright, well, never mind. Fuck me, I guess. You can, it just costs a lot. Alright, well, fuck me again, I guess.
Always made clear.
You don't have gold? Well, fuck me a third time. What did he say fuck me for? It costs 16 gold, you'll get enough by then? Well, then fuck me 4 times then! He needs a trophy for the mountain, no? No, I'm still on round 1. I'm still on denial. It's very... Lots of questions coming in. I saw one, which chapter is he on, 2 or 3? Neither. Sorry, I'm sorry to tell you it's neither. He's on 1. He is me as well. Are these potions FDA approved? We bought a box of mangoes at the grocery store. On the box of mangoes, it said, this box has been treated by irradiation. I'm not like anti-nuclear or anything, but I was like, is that okay? Then I had to look it up online, and the FDA was like, yeah, it's no problem. We've been monitoring it for 50 years. Your safety is guaranteed. Turns out it's totally fine. All I know is that the dentist says, don't worry, the x-ray is perfectly safe, and then they go into a different room and leave me alone in there biting down on like those 2 surprisingly sharp probes while they hit the button. That's all I'm not anti-x-rays. I'm just saying if it's, and I understand that there's like accumulation that happens if you're, I'm just begging the question, I suppose. It's not safe to do it 100 times a day. It's a free country, though. I didn't steal it from Lee Evans. I stole it from someone on Twitter who stole it from somebody on TikTok, okay? That's worse? I know, that's why I brought it up. It's funny. Who stole it from Lee Evans. Yes, precisely. Can I say, I never root for anybody's downfall? Well... I don't know anything about this comedian except that he's very famous, and I watched. He always has his shirt off. His name is Bert Kreischer. I watched 10 minutes of his most recent stand-up special on Netflix because I've seen him everywhere, and then I was like, this just isn't funny to me, which is fine. That's not even me being a hater. There's a lot of stand-up specials that I watch, and I turn them off 10 minutes in because I just go, this isn't for me. Now. I also saw that he's in every stand-up special, he's got his shirt off. But in his he's got a movie coming out where he becomes a secret agent. And the gimmick is that in the movie, he also always has his shirt off. Like, I'm not disgusted by the male body or anything like that. It's just like, you gotta, at some point, you gotta diversify your act, right? It's like Gallagher smashing the watermelon over and over. Like, at some point, you're like, can you smash like a honeydew or something? He's really in like an action movie where he's got his shirt off too. You gotta be careful making fun of stand-up comedians though, because they're like the poet laureates of the modern day. They could cook me, man. Today, you look like a guy who could do a killer C-3PO impression. C-3PO was my favorite character in Star Wars as a little kid, for sure. I've changed a lot since then, though. Lee Evans was the guy from There's Something About Mary. Oh, the guy who says, "Do you like my teeth, Mary? I just got them capped." You're an architect. Have you worked on anything I'd know? That depends. Have you been to Santiago, Chile? Twice last year. Kind of a classic movie. Kind of one of the best movies ever made. Probably. Can you just relax on the pummels here? +2. I don't know what he's talking about. Bro, There's Something About Mary. You really don't know There's Something About Mary?
Well done.
You should not admit that, man. What's next, Harold and Maude? I'm not much of a Hal Ashby fan. I did own Harold and Maude on DVD, though. I thought this was a stream for gamers. The more people tell me I'm old, the more the stream becomes like turning to the funny pages of the newspaper, like reading 2 comics. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Zitz and Hagar the Horrible, and then just doing like not even the crossword, just doing the jumble. Like a 5-letter word is out of position, and I go, oh, I know that word. It's tough. I'm stupid. I've killed my relationship. Have there been any new comics in the newspaper recently? The popularity of themed restaurants these days? Peanuts? That's new to me.
Steady yourself.
I remember when I talked to Chuck Schultz for the first time. I said, he was drawing Charlie Brown with hair. I said, don't draw the hair, Chuck. Don't draw the hair. Imply the hair. It's much more interesting. I said, just draw a W on Charlie Brown's forehead. People can do it. They'll get the picture. Why out of all literature do you refer only to meditation and notes from underground? Because I haven't read any Brandon Sanderson books. I'm gonna throw you a little thunderclap grenade real quick while we're here. You also read The Stranger. That's true. Mother died today, or maybe it was yesterday. I did read The Stranger. I did read The Old Man and the Sea. I did read Brave New World. I read The Handmaid's Tale. I read a couple. I've been known to do some reading. No, I haven't read any Cormac McCarthy, but I did read the tweet about what if Danny McBride played the bad guy from Blood Meridian, and I laughed, which is almost like the same thing. Blight, I don't need to attack you. Beautiful. Let's attack you instead. Oh!
Let us hope to finish this quickly.
You ever read Ender's Game? I have read Ender's Game. We don't... Listen, I know the author is not a good guy, okay? The book is good. Author, not a good guy. Noted.
Well done.
Does he win at the end of Ender's Game? You can just watch the movie for yourself instead. But Ender's Game is kind of like, it's crazy, because it's like the first 95% of the novel is like, and maybe this is going to get me -2 a little bit here. The first 90% of the novel is like really great. And then at the end, somebody merges with ChatGPT and becomes smarter than like any human being has ever been in history. And I was like, what's going on here? And then apparently like the sequels to Ender's Game are like Ender travels to the end of the universe and starts like he marries like a mushroom or something like that, and they merge into some kind of celestial super intelligence or something. Pretty not correct. What do you... Are you serious? I thought that was pretty... Is that not correct? I thought that was pretty good. Pretty wrong? I don't know if it's a mushroom, okay? But he marries... He marries like an alien. Of that, there can be no doubt. He marries the Hive Queen? Well, it's like, I get it. They expanded... The first one is like... You know, it's like a tight story, and then the second one is like they try to get a little bit more like, you know, the Project Hail Mary with it, which I don't disrespect. I didn't even read the second one. I only read it on Wikipedia. What a statement. I only read it on Wikipedia. This is like one of those hustle influencers who's like, I read 17 books a day. Here's my secret. I read 0 books a day, but I read many book synopsises on Wikipedia. That's how I watched 100 movies last year. There's dozens of us. How'd you manage to read all the wrong things about Ender's Game? I don't think I read all the wrong things. I think I'm confused about what happens in the sequels. I'm very familiar with what happens in Ender's Game 1. Mommy's precious little boy saves the world. What music do you think could inspire you in a life or death situation? It's crazy, but I think the recurring Peloton song that gets me pumped up the most, like I pedal the hardest even when I'm tired, is Rich Girl by Hall & Oates. There's something, it's not a pump-up song. There's just something about it's like a 2 minutes, 40 seconds of just like a driving sort of like it has like a structured form, and then Hall and/or Oates are mostly playing to the form, but they're occasionally they're dipping out of it. It gets me going a little bit. I'm not going to deny it. Yeah, wait, is it the one by Hall & Oates? It's the one that goes, if I was a rich girl, na 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 na, I'd have all the money in the world if I was a wealthy girl. Oh, what's your pump-up song? That's the most boomer thing I've ever heard. No, the most boomer thing you've ever heard is if someone said it was Don't Stop Believing. That's like the pump-up song of boomers worldwide. What's your pump-up song? It's probably the fucking Steven Universe theme song. The inspiring montage music that plays when Bob's Burgers saves his local business by adding Havarti cheese instead of cheddar to the menu. Like, what do you... Don't even give me... I got a lot of anger just coursing through my veins. I don't have to summon it. I just have to harness it, okay? So just relax. I actually think that, like, I mean, we all are aware now that boomer just means millennial, right? And I've come to terms with it. I'm fine with it. If that's the case, then the boomer pump-up songs are actually like Du Hast, Ba with the Ba by Kid Rock, anything by Linkin Park, really, like this. They just mean old, exactly. Battle Ballad, Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. Rollin', it does kind of get me pumped up. I'm a little embarrassed to say. I would never suggest it's a good song. But like as soon as if I hear it in a context where I'm doing physical exercise, it's like, it just reverts me back to being like 12 years old. Actually, dude, Guns N' Roses might be the most boomer pump-up band of all time. No, AC/DC's kind of up there too. There's a lot, I'm realizing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put anybody on blast. I think you have to enjoy your guilty pleasures, and there's nothing wrong with it. Move me forward one. 3 to 6 damage. You got 4 bleed on you. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, like anything that plays in an arena. Except that awesome song that goes na 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 na. Rollin' is just man, I feel like a woman, but for white dudes. What does that even mean? How is Rollin' like man, I feel like a woman?
An unexpected find.
I don't even know what Rollin's about. It's just the whole song is just a vibe. It's like the hokey pokey for new metal, right? Move in, now move out, hands up, now hands down, back up, back up. Tell me what you're gonna do now, keep rolling, roll. It's just like, it's the electric slide. It's one of those weird songs where like a band asserts itself by telling, not showing. You wanna mess with Limp Bizkit? You can't mess with Limp Bizkit because we're getting it on. Every day and every night. This platinum shit right here, yeah, I'm doing it all the time. So you better get some better beats and get some better rhymes. What is it's a verse that says nothing. But when you're 12 years old, you're like, yeah, all these haters writing anti-Limp Bizkit songs, they better get some better beats and get some better rhymes. Because Fred Durst just put them 10 times. Fred Durst completely understood the assignment. What song would be blasting if you were in a chopper, Vietnam style? I'd have to say it would probably be like Rich Girl by Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates. Maybe the whole catalog. Maybe Your Kisses on My Lips. That's another good one. Why is it so much... Like, it feels more sinister when someone commits war crimes with, like, because your kiss is on my lips. Then, like, if somebody's committing war crimes, well, like, Kid Rock plays in the background. Thoughts on Bootsy Collins? Can I tell you something that blew my mind today? We were driving our daughter to daycare. What a block on that. Holy cow. We were driving our daughter to daycare. We were listening to, well, because we had her in the car, we were listening to the Toy Story soundtrack. And then Shuffle came on. You will never in a million years, guess the artist that my wife said, I like this guy's songs. I'll give you, like 1,000 guesses. Just starting from Toy Story soundtrack, and then imagine what, where you could go from there. Marty Robbins? Marty Robbins is really close. Somehow, the actual answer is even more bizarre, though. Not bizarre, but funny. It's, I'm just going to tell you, just to save some time here. It's Andy Griffith. You know? I would never in my entire life have thought that that Andy Griffith would make it onto my wife's, like, Spotify Wrapped. But she was like, I like this guy. Is he still alive? And then I said, no, I'm pretty sure he died in the 70s. And then I looked it up, and it turns out he died in, like, 2012. So I was also pretty off on how old Andy Griffith is, but holy cow, that's kind of nasty with it. Did also, like, you know how Google has, like, the AI-generated people also search for this when you Google somebody? The Andy Griffith ones were, like, insane. The top one was, like, no! The top one was, like, how long was Andy Griffith dead before they buried him? I was like, I don't really see how that's relevant, but it turns out that he was buried, like, 4 hours after he died or something like that. And then number 2 was, like, who inherited Andy Griffith's money? And then number 3 was who was Andy Griffith when he died, which I don't even, like, understand the question. It's like the most demoralizing game I've ever played. Like, the runs are 3 hours long, and the first, like, 2.5 hours of them, I'm like, this is a lot of fun. And then, like, then I just die at the boss or before the boss, and I'm like, I never want to play this shit ever again. Sorry. It drains my being. It's just irritating, man. Like, life's too short. If you bounced off Wildfrost, you have no chance. This game's infinitely more frustrating. Who bounced off a Wildfrost? I'm getting torched here. Every time you play it, you say you're done? No, that was like 3 times. And then I started to enjoy it. It might be the last Darkest Dungeon 2 stream, though. I don't know. It's just, maybe it's just not for me. I can live with that. It's just like, I mean, I'll just be real with you. I'm not saying it's too hard. I think it might just be too hard for me. It's fine. I know my role. Imagine if you win, though. I think if I win, I would probably take that as a sign to leave on a positive. Try one more with the torch from the inn. This one had the torch. Chatter. Now that the last few drops of this bubbly are gonna leach into my recycling bin. Are you happy? Really like you to not be targeted. We can't use melee attacks. You're marked, so I guess we just withstand, because next turn we'll ignore blindness on the lion anyway. Motherfucker.
Not all who seek redemption will find it.
I regret to inform you I've reached the limit of my solemnities, which seems pretty bad for me. We can't win the 1v1 here. I don't think it's possible without a heal. You're blind. That's great. You've denied me from using melee attacks. That's not so great. You missed me. That's pretty great. I will reflect because I have no other moves I could do. It's like a move backwards. I guess like a pass turn. Not a huge fan of that. I can't, so I'm never going to be able to use physical attacks. There's an order to killing them. Very cool. It's just, again, it's no disrespect. It's just too much for me. That's fine. It happens. There's been other games like this in the past. This is our third time to make it to this boss, and I feel like we kind of got a little... Like, the first one, I was like, it happens. And the second one, I was like, there's a trick to it, which is kind of annoying, but life goes on. And then this one, I was like, nah, I think it's kind of too much for me. This is the easiest boss, though? Precisely. Could you just kill him? Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Slash marker, Darkest Dungeon 2. The end. Close. Window. Not even going to spend my resources. Remove it from the solid state hard drive. We have space for more YouTube thumbnails. I think I saw someone in chat say it. I don't want to get stun locked about just complaining about the difficulty. But like, it's not that the final boss of Act 1 or whatever. It's not that the boss is hard. It's that everything up to that was like not that hard. So it's like the difficulty was like it's pretty much straight on, like a little higher than your average strategy game. And then at the boss, it's just like eat shit. Like it just, it's kind of, I don't know. I think I would call it a little overtuned. For my takes. For my taste, I should say. Anyway, slash marker, Wildfrost. So much for variety. Let me guess. Next message, play Zelda like everybody else. You make it too easy, brother. Give me a Junjun. Give me a Bushu. Holy +2. What can I say? I saw on Discord they're working on an undo button. Undo button in this game. I don't know if I like it. You don't have to use it then. If you make a mistake, you could just be like, I'm going to live with that. For me, that would be a great addition, though. It doesn't have to take away from your enjoyment. It's up to you if you feel like that takes away from your enjoyment. Just remember that. That's something that's on your level. Remember that tweet from Doom about controlling the numbers you press? I don't remember the tweet from Doom. I don't. I don't follow Doom on Twitter. It's not numbers, it's buttons. I don't follow Doom on Twitter. I don't understand. You mean Moom? Now I did like Moom on Twitter. I did like Moom. There's no doubt about that. You're gonna do a lot of damage here, but you go first. Classic mistake. Was this bit going somewhere? I don't know, man. Ask the chatter. I'm being put in the spotlight for nothing. Well, I think the insinuation was that you were going to suggest that you don't need an undo button because you're in control of the buttons you press. My insinuation, which was, if we're being fair, equally insulting, was that you shouldn't derive your enjoyment from being better than other people at video games. Like, Dark Souls should never have a pause button. I don't have a child, ergo, if they added a pause button to Dark Souls for when your kid poops their pants, like, that would make the game easier for you, which means I somehow get less credit for beating it. Like, I was trying to... We were both doing something that was dismissive of the other person, and of that there can be no doubt. So I think we're all sons of bitches, is the answer there. They were agreeing with you, though? Oh, why didn't you say so? In that case, carry on. They need to make more casual video games. It's crazy to me that we're on a web... Oh, hold on. You've got 6 HP. You're about to be attacked for... What do you mean by that? Well, what I was going to say is it's crazy that we're on, like, a website where, like, the #1 content is, like, watching people play TikTok videos, and yet somehow casual games are still maligned. Like, it makes no sense to me. How is it possible that the gamers on this website are like, oh, my favorite thing to do is, like, watch my favorite streamer watch a show from TLC from 22 years ago, but also, if you're gonna play a game, play Dwarf Fortress. Candy Crush? Casual, it's barely even like playing a game. If you're not gonna watch a television show while you eat DoorDash, then can you just do me a favor? Can you play some TIS-100, please, from Zachtronics? It's actually really easy once you've read the 400-page manual. You can actually print it out and then put it in like a binder, and then you have like a reference that you can use while you play the game yourself. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna smack you. By the way, so just so there's no confusion here, I'm very pro Zachtronics. I've been working my way through the librarian's archives. I just saw your take on why you are annoyed by AI, and I've got to say +2. Holy cow. Didn't that bit came from like yesterday, didn't it? They've been getting up, those videos are going up real quick. Yes, that is some fast movement there. I would prefer if Bushu didn't die. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So I'm going to pop you up to the front. If Junjun dies, I don't really care. Once you retire, the librarian will be all we have. Don't tease me. After the Darkest Dungeon 2 stream, 2 hours of nobody in chat talking. The streamer has the audacity to say this game's a little hard. All of a sudden, people who haven't left comments since Slay the Spire Ascension 20 runs 5 years ago come out of the woodwork to say, actually, it's really easy. It's probably one of the easiest games I've ever played. 37-year-olds without a driver's license are actually... It's actually, like, pretty much automatic. Let me give you the 25-step process to figuring it out. I told you earlier, you don't need to summon the anger. It's always burning since the world's been turning. Just don't give me an outlet. I'm 22 without a driver's license. It's okay, you live in San Diego. Actually, now that I remember that I've been there, you kind of need one in San Diego. But whatever, you're still young. I said 37. I deliberately made the joke 3 years older than me. When I make the joke in 3 years, it'll be 40, etc., etc. I'm always defending myself for how old I am. I'm like 34 is not that old. Because like the older I get, I'm also surrounded by people that are like even older than myself. Then I was thinking about it, you know, that idea that like, oh, Cleopatra lived closer to the modern day than she did to the creation of the pyramids. Different like thought experiments like that can change the way you perceive your own age. Here's one that makes me feel old. When I was born, people that were born in 1950 were only 38 years old. They were fucking hot, dude. They were like little babies. When I was a newborn baby, 38-year-olds were people that were born in 1950. They're turning 73 this year. Holy cow. I have to admit there's nothing else to do, even though I hate SAP. I mean, here's the thing. First off, I love SAP. Secondly, Wildfrost, every run is like 90 minutes. Darkest Dungeon 2, God rest his soul, every run is 3 hours. Tape to tape, the runs are like minimum 30 minutes, but that's if you lose. Like starting a run with 30 minutes left in the stream is disastrous. you know, you're basically like you're begging for a loss. It's like starting an Isaac run with 5 minutes. I got something stuck in my keyboard. I can't lower my volume the way I used to. Okay, pop this. It's like I'm trying to lower the volume, but the wheel's getting stuck on like a little piece of beef jerky or something. How dirty is the keyboard? I mean, it's not that dirty. It has a lot of cat hair on it, which is very annoying for me. Because my cat, Ruka in particular, loves to sleep on top of my keyboard. Like, I come back to my office after being away for a few hours, and it's just like he's got his paw on like the 8 key, and then in the Discord it just says 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, like over and over and over. It's very annoying to me, and I say, hey, you Harlem Pepper, get off the keyboard. Custom keyboard? Not a custom keyboard, just a regular old. It's a Logitech of some sort. Has a G in the top left corner. I would not describe myself necessarily as a keyboard Andy. I'm really just a guy, honestly. You ever tried a custom keyboard? I've not. But it just doesn't seem like something that's necessarily for me. You know what I mean? I've never noticed the problem with the real keyboard, or I guess I shouldn't say real. I've never noticed the problem with an out-of-the-box keyboard. NL, when asked about his opinion on any given thing, I'm just a guy. I hate to be this guy. It's mostly just nerd things. I'm not just trying to be like a hater, but it's when people are like, hey, what's your mouse? Wait, how many buttons have you got on your mouse? And I'm like, I don't know, like 2 that I use and a scroll wheel, and then like there's 2 more that I don't really know what they do. Then people are like, what are your opinions on, like, you know, the discounted cash flow model? And then I start to talk about it like an insane person, and people are like, shut up! Shut up! Who's your favorite stand? And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And they're like, oh, NL's opinion on everything. I don't know anything. And I'm like, I know things! It's just not about the shit that you know about, okay? I do okay in conversation in real life with other normies. It's just on the platform I've chosen to tether myself to that I get roasted all day. Are you really calling yourself a normie? I would say that I'm twisted by normie standards, but normie by Twitch standards. Like, it's always funny to me that, like, whenever I come up in other circles, people are like, man, NL's like the most normal streamer. And I'm like, that might be true, but that's just because this website is full of, like, truly insane people. It's a bicycle key? Hello, honey. For my bicycle? Well, thank you. You got a bicycle key for my bicycle? Mm-hmm. How was your daycare today, honey?
I'll show you how daycare
Uh-oh.
was. It was good.
Okay.
And then she always starts with, she's doing very well. And I go, phew, all right, time to go home. And she's like, oh, but wait. And then she goes, you need some variety for her lunch? Because yesterday you gave her pasta.
Right, yeah.
And then today you gave her pasta again. So, like, put some variety so she doesn't get sick of it. And I was like, what the hell, man? She's eating better than me or Ryan.
She is doing some, well, she's not eating better than me, but, like, go on.
And then...
My diet's in a pretty good place right now.
And then, you know how the whole thing about her is, like, don't put the fruits in the yogurt?
Right, yeah, I've heard that.
I was like, what do you mean variety? What do you want from me? And then she's like, you know, you can put some blueberry in the yogurt. And I'm like, nah, you're asking me to put blueberry in the yogurt?
It's crazy.
I was like, what do you want me to? Like, told me to don't put the fruit in the yogurt, and now you're telling me to fruit in the yogurt? What am I supposed to do here? And then, you know, she's like, change the meat. You know, she doesn't like the meat, so give her some, like, different types of meat. And I was like, oh, like, you mean, like, lunch meat? And she's like, oh, I don't like those. Maybe you can give her, like, lunch meat once a week. And I'm just like, how many people in your chat eating lunch meat every day for their attention?
I don't know. I don't know if we need to get into all that.
I don't know why she's like, lunch meat is like no good. She's eating your daughter's lunch.
That, you know what? That's like a Seinfeld bit right there. What if she is eating our daughter's lunch?
And then she's
She's
like,
like, oh,
"It
too
was
much
little-
pasta lately.
Yeah, it was like a little unsalted. You could put some salt in your pasta.
Hey, if you could use Pecorino Romano instead of Parmesan Reggiano next time, that would be great, please. Some of the kids here have an allergy to Parmigiano Reggiano.
She was saying like, oh, you know, maybe rotini. Maybe you could change the type of pasta from like rotini to, you know, linguine or something. And I'm just like, I thought I was like a server.
Oh, I understand. She is very demanding.
And then in the morning, she was like, oh, you dressed your daughter so nicely. It's so cute. Where did you buy those clothes? Afternoon, when I picked her up, it was like, you're putting your daughter in like way too good clothes. She cannot go and play because she's so self-conscious. Put her in like cheap clothes so she can get dirty. And I'm just like, what if you say you like the clothes in the morning and now you're saying I should put her in like a cheaper clothes?
This situation needs to get resolved as soon as possible. Because her problem is becoming my wife's problem. Ergo, it's becoming my problem. Are you guys only seeing British producers, or do you actually get the good stuff? What the hell does that mean? Are you guys only seeing British producers, or do you get the good stuff? Do you have like 2 tabs open right now, and one of them is like Glastonbury EDM Festival? British produce! British produce! To be honest with you, I don't know if we even get like any British produce. Is British produce okay with the daycare lady? I don't know, man. It's just like we've been going through like a lot lately. It's been a very busy, stressful like 4 weeks. It'll be a relief when our daughter is fully in this daycare full time and we can return to normal life. I don't understand why the daycare is messed up. Well, like in many ways, like me neither. Like she pivoted daycares because our old daycare was gonna take like an extended holiday that was going to leave us without daycare for like almost the entire summer. So we said, we'll just bite the bullet and we'll pivot daycares early. So we got into this new daycare. And then she's like, well, there's an adjustment period that can sometimes take up to 2 weeks. And we're like, that's fine. But like, she started with like an hour a day, then 2 hours a day, then like pre-lunch. Then she can stay and like eat lunch and leave right after lunch, and then like sometime this week she's gonna eat lunch and then she's gonna have a nap. We'll pick her up after the nap. We're like day by day we're getting to like picking her up at 4:30 or 5 p.m. and I'm like, I mean, it's hater parlance, but I feel like I need to phone the daycare and be like, people, this is phrasing. I don't want to say people work for a living, but like, have you ever done this before? Because like the only reason we're able to do this is because of the fact that we work like abnormal jobs with, flexible hours that are not even that flexible anymore. Like when you get somebody whose mom is just like, an accountant or something, are they just like, well, I guess I heard all that, but I'm just gonna put them in and pick them up at 5 because I paid you? Like, I guess other people are just more assertive. Daycares are so whack. We had problems with ours too. Like, bro, I'm paying you to watch my kid. Just watch my kid. I know. I don't understand why she's giving my wife like food advice for our kid. Like one of the days we Kate gave her like a quesadilla, and then our daughter said, I don't like the quesadilla. And then the daycare lady to my wife was like, you need to pack her stuff that she actually enjoys eating. I'm like, okay, well, like, what is your ass gonna say when we pack a lunchbox that's got like 7 chocolate bars in it? How about you just feed her the stuff that we gave you and like don't think about it so much? Like, you don't worry yourself about the parenting stuff. Just make sure like they don't die during the 7 or 8 hours that they're at your facility, and we'll handle like the parenting. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. But just right now, it's very frustrating because we were like really stressed out. And then she's like, by the way, consider using like ground turkey instead of ground pork in the pasta. And we're like, really? That doesn't seem like pertinent right now. Anyway, we appreciate your patience as we've been working through this. The daycare is not the only thing that has us stressed out right now, but it's definitely not helping. Let's put it that way. Send her with a spy cam? No, I have shit to do. It's the whole reason that we got the daycare in the first place is because my ass is busy, my wife's ass is busy. We would prefer to be busier, quite frankly. I don't have time to daycare the daycare. I just want the daycare to daycare my child. CHIBLEE knows I'm busy. I haven't even stepped foot in CHIBLEE's stream for like a month now. It's absurd. I miss ducking in for... Here's the way that my experience on CHIBLEE's stream would typically go. I would pop in for a second and say, hello, CHIBLEE. And then I wouldn't even have my headphones on. At which point, he would then say something that was like targeted towards me. And I would get added by lots of people. But I wouldn't hear it. And then I would leave for 2 hours, and then I would come back, and I would repeat the process. But I haven't even had a chance to do that lately. I go to Chib's chat to roast him daily? That's just a lie. Nobody roasts CHIBLEE. He's the most loved streamer on the platform. Even when he like fails at drawing a clock, everybody's like, don't worry about it, you'll get him next time. Then meanwhile, travel for me is like, I want to travel from Canada to Papua New Guinea. And I'm like, oh, step one, I have to go to America. People are like, dumbass. Canada borders France via Saint Pierre and Miquelon. Why didn't you start in Saint Pierre and Miquelon and go to France, and then you take France to Germany, and then Germany to Poland, and Poland to... fucking, I don't know, you get to Russia, and then you're basically in Papua New Guinea. Listen, I didn't want to have to complete, like, the whole joke. Daycare? More like they care too much about how you raise your daughter. Okay, that's a +2. But even still, I'm annoyed, because we're raising our daughter fine. It's not like we're, like, you know, just letting her sit there. Like, we're... We just gave her pasta 2 days in a row. And she's like, you gotta... just give her some variety. I was like, pasta 2 days in a row? That's like, you know, there's people out there that eat pasta like 30 days in a row. They live in a country called Italy. Maybe you've heard of it. I feel called out. I don't think there's anything wrong with eating pasta 2 days in a row or 30 days in a row. I'm a normal, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Normal's probably not it. I'm like a routine eater. I could eat the same thing for dinner 7 nights a week, and as long as I enjoy it and not get too concerned about it. Like, I don't... My parents definitely are of the opinion, the position, that, like, you have to have some... If you had salad last night, you can't have a salad tonight. So I grew up, and it would be like, you would eat... On Monday, let's just say you would have, like, chili. Then on Tuesday, you can't have chili. So you would have, like, let's say, some curry. Then, on Wednesday, you would eat the leftover chili. And on Thursday, you would eat the leftover curry. For me, it extends the amount of time that a food is in the fridge. I don't like to carry that much food debt in my refrigerator. We don't do this because my wife is normal and I'm insane. But when I'm home alone, I cook like a chili, and then for dinner I have chili, and then for lunch the next day I have chili, and then for dinner the next night I have chili. And breakfast I'll mix it up because I gotta eat faster. I can't afford to be warming stuff up. I'll just have a bowl of Vector or something instead. But for lunches and dinners, I'm like, chili, 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 chili. She's like, eh. Finally, I suggested sushi, the food I knew she wanted to eat anyway. And she's like, if that's what you want. Daryl. I named 7 other cuisines. No, Greg. I wish my girlfriend liked sushi. I would say it's like a blessing and a curse. I think CHIBLEE could make like a joke about it. The joke could be like, women love sushi. That's the whole joke. My impression of a woman. Do you feel like sushi tonight? This is CHIBLEE's joke, not mine, okay? Don't cancel me. Women will be doing something else and then out of nowhere say something crazy like, do you want to eat sushi tonight? See, we're getting there. There's a joke coming out of this somewhere. They do be loving sushi. They won't let me say it, but you can say it. I mean, you could flip the script too. Men will really go to, they'll be like, oh, I've been craving steak all week. Yeah, oh, this steakhouse is so good. You want to go to this steakhouse with me? It's such a great steakhouse. Then when they get there, they'll like, I'll take the burger. Shit makes me sick. It's the greatest steakhouse in the city. Oh, what are you gonna have, sir? Sir, for you? We have a great New York strip tonight. We have a dry aged ribeye. We do all the dry aging in house. Oh, I'll take the burger. Of course you will, yes. And what will you have as a side, sir? I was thinking the French fries. Very good, sir. Sure, but the burger's 18 bucks and the steak is 45. You're the one who wanted to go to a steakhouse. Your wife would have been perfectly fine just going to the sushi restaurant. But no, you had sushi too much recently. Big Daddy wants to eat a steak. Then when he gets there, he orders a burger. She's getting the ick, bro. She's getting the ick.
Daughter like to be thrown onto the bed.
Okay.
By you.
Was that a good opportunity to...
You have to go like this. And then
Heave
go,
ho, yeah.
like that.
Was that a good opportunity to get some frustration out today?
No.
All right, well.
I was actually just having a pure fun. What happened to the bubbly can?
I crushed it because I got mad at Chad. But
Oh my god! Did you show Chad?
I did. I held it up to the camera and went.
Oh my god! What kind of violence? It's the violence! That was your blood! Our daughter ripped the cabinet door from our kitchen, or her kitchen.
Our daughter did rip off a cabinet door in her kitchen.
And I said, what the heck was that? And then she said, the cabinet is better without the door. And I'm like, how did you do that?
She's pretty strong.
That's your blood. That's your DNA. Crazy stuff.
And also in my DNA, she made you fix it. Tell Kate the sushi bit. I'm sure the first like hour of her stream is always just chatting. I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll hear about it. Let's put it that way. But she's gonna roast me a little bit. Here's my prediction for how it would go down. She's gonna be like, yeah, I like sushi, but if I let Ryan order the food, he would always order something I don't like Nando's, which is literally just like roasted chicken and potatoes. And then someone in the comments would be like, actually, he mentioned that he likes to eat Mexican food. And she'll go, yeah, that's pretty true. He does like to eat Mexican food, but I don't know. Like, sometimes you get the Mexican food, I just don't get it. It's just like, it's tortillas and cheese. Like, it's not really to my liking that much. And then she's going to have to admit at some point that she does always go for sushi if she's choosing the meal. It's like a 100% certainty. So just like... I'm fully prepared for it, and none of that was a lie on her end, by the way. Bro, stop pre-moving. I go this, here. They move here. I go here. I don't watch a lot of chess in the modern era. I think we just lost. Certainly seems like it. OMG. She pooped a big one? No! Please win faster? Well, I lost faster. All right, I'll send you over to my wife's stream /markersap. I gotta find some easier fucking games to play, man. Like Sap is fine, but Wildfrost and Darkest Dungeon 2? We need more people making games for idiots, dude. Anyway, I'll send you over to my wife's stream. I think tomorrow's gonna be a normal stream. I think I'm gonna be here at the normal time. I think I'm gonna be done at the normal time, so that'll be nice. I'll see you then.
I'm actually so pissed at your daycare. Like, if I'm paying, I don't want your opinion. I know, dude. It's crazy. She was like, at home, do you tell her to like not touch anything when she got dirty hands? And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, don't do that. Kids are supposed to be dirty and they're supposed to touch all the dirty stuff. And you know, like, that should be like part of the nature. And then here I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I didn't say this to her. But I was like, what are you talking about? With her dirty hand? If she touches like white clothes or Ruka, like with the dirty hand, that's gonna be terrible. I have to give bath to Ruka, who has never had bath because he's a cat. Like, that just sounds terrible. I'm not gonna let her touch all the things with the dirty hand. I'm gonna be like, yo, you got a dirty hand, you wait here, I'm gonna clean your hand. You know what I'm saying? But like, she's like, you know, the kids, they're supposed to run around and play in the nature. They gotta be part of the nature, you know. She shouldn't be worrying about dirty hands. You should not make her worry about dirty hands. And I was like, I said, oh, okay. But in my mind, I was thinking all sorts of stuff. And then, you know, like this morning, I said it on Ryan's stream. I put her in a nice clothes. She basically only has nice clothes. Because I like to put her in nice clothes. Because, like, you know, she looks cuter in nice clothes than, like, you know, like, just a t-shirt and shorts. You know what I mean? So, like, I send her out with a really nice, like, white... It was, like, bloomers and kind of, like a really nice shirt with, like, flower patterns. It was very cute. So, like, in the morning, she said, like, oh my gosh, where did you buy that? That's so cute. And then I told her where I bought it and everything, and she's like, oh, okay. Do they have it for, like, adult size? Because I want to buy that for, like, me. And I was like, I don't know, they might, so just go check it out. And then when I picked her up, she was like, oh, you gotta put your daughter in some cheap clothes? Because I think your daughter is too concerned to get her clothes dirty. And I'm just like, I think I raised my daughter well. Because she should be concerning if her clothes are gonna get dirty or not. Because, like, she should not get her clothes dirty. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want... Like, I think that's very culturally sensed, baby. And then she's like, no, you gotta put her in cheap clothes, let her tumble around in the dirt and mud, and just get her all dirty up, and she should not matter. Lady wants to do my laundry if that's important. I mean, in the previous daycare, no, nothing like this. Like, you know, she would have problem with, like, sticky hands, and then she'd be like, mommy, clean my hands are sticky. Bro, I'm the same. I don't like when my hands are sticky. I'm not gonna be like, huh, my hands are sticky. Whatever. I'm just gonna touch all the things and get everything sticky. No, man. I'm gonna be like, yo, my hands are sticky. I'm gonna wash my hands. So I'm gonna keep things not sticky. Same for my daughter. She goes like, mommy, my hands are sticky. And then I go, I clean it. But then my daycare lady is just like, no, keep her sticky and tell her that's okay. I was just like, what the heck, man? And then, also she pointed out that your daughter, she's very careful on things. You should tell her to be like, it's okay to get bruises. You know, it's just, natural ways to, like, it's just like, it's okay to get bruises or, like, scuffed. It's fine. And I'm like, in certain degree, yes. But, like, why is that a bad thing? Being careful so you don't get bruises? Does this woman have children? And then she then said, like, if she is adventurous like that and gets, you know, cuts and bruises when she's young, when she grows older and goes to university, she will try more stuff. And I'm just like, excuse me? You're relating how 2-year-old behaves and connecting that to like 20-year-olds, how they're gonna like behave in the universities, dude. What does that even mean? I don't know. I don't know. She's like, she would go to university and like try more new stuff if she's not careful and gets bruises and cuts and stuff. I don't know why. It's just every time I pick her up, I like, you just see my mental health just like dropping. My sanity level just dropping. Her energy is so scary. I know. But I mean, the thing is, next year she's gonna start her junior kindergarten. So it's just like, just hang in there. Hang in there. I'm like, I almost lost my shit when she said she ate her lunch well, and I was like, good. But then she's like, but, you know, put some more varieties. And I was like I almost lost my shit, but I kept it in, and I was like, okay, what do you mean varieties? Like, am I feeding a customer or am I feeding my daughter? And she's like, you know, like you put the same bread as yesterday, you put the same pasta as yesterday, you know, change things up so she doesn't get bored. I'm like, oh my god, this is like the craziest thing I've ever, like, how many of you guys had same food? Like, and then did you go like, man, I need variety? Like, and then it's not for like same meals every day for 3 meals a day. It was just the lunch. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? And then she's like, you know, maybe you use like beef for the pasta, so maybe you should use chicken. You know, maybe add a little bit of strips of chicken. And then I'm like, what? Just like I'm just like picturing like I have the pasta, and then just add chicken strips. Like, how? What? I'm so confused, dude. If I can, I know people meal prep. And when they meal prep, they just like make something that they really like and then like prep it for every lunch. And they might have some varieties, but what I've seen is that they just cook large batch of the same food, and then they just divide it for like 5 days. So they have same food every lunch, but it's like balanced, and they like the food, so it's okay. And then they change it next week. You know, I was basically doing that same thing for her, and apparently the daycare lady is like, no, there's no variety. You know, maybe change the bread, give her a different bread, change the meat, maybe use the different pasta. And in my mind, I'm just like, why is that important? Because, like, if she did not eat well, then variety makes sense. But she started by saying she ate very well today. And I'm like, then, like, it's not broken. Why fix it? You know what I mean? Like, she ate very well, so let's keep on feeding the same thing. Why she ate very well, but change things? I just don't get it. Make her falafel sandwich tomorrow. I'm so scared every time I pick her up. I don't even know if I can stream tomorrow. So, like, tomorrow, like, she said, tomorrow, we'll see how it goes. But I would like to have her to take a nap at the daycare. And like, in my head, I was like, finally, it's about time. Because, like, holy moly, this is our 2nd week, and she still has not taken a nap at the daycare. I just don't know why. And I was like, sure. But then she's like, but you have to be around here. Like, just sit outside of, like, in your car, so that when I call you, you have to come and pick your daughter up ASAP. Because, like, she's so scared when she wakes up from her nap that Luna is gonna be a different child or something. This sounds horrible. Dude, if I had options, I'm switching, but there's no options. Like, just me thinking back, trying to find another daycare is actually more stressful than just going through this. I'm just hoping that when she starts full-time daycare, like, starting next week, that all this should not matter. You know what I mean? Because once she starts the full time, then I'm not gonna be the one who's picking up. It's gonna be Ryan. And then if she backseats of how I put what stuff in her lunch, Ryan's gonna listen to it and he's gonna forget it by the time he drives back home. And he's not even gonna tell me, and I'm gonna be like, well, she didn't say anything to me, so it's all good, you know what I mean? I got a little cushion, so I'm just gonna survive until this week. And then next week, it's gonna be Ryan who's picking her up. And he's gonna get backseated by her. And it's gonna be his problem, not me problem. That's my solution, dude. When the daycare provider says all that kind of stuff to Ryan, he will be able to filter it out. You know what I mean? She's like, it would be different when, it would be different than me standing there out in the sun, getting bickered and backseated by how I packed the lunch. And you know, oh my gosh, not to mention, she kept saying like, you're putting too much food in her lunchbox. And like, I know how my daughter eats, right? I've that's my daughter. I raised her so far. I've been feeding her every day. And she's saying like, you're giving her too much food. You have to feed her 30% less. And then so today, when I packed her lunch, I gave her 30% less food, right? You would not believe. I was eating bread for my lunch. And then she said, Mommy, I'm hungry. Can I have some of your bread? And I was flipping shit. And I was like, well, Miss Daycare Provider. You said 30% less because my daughter is eating too much. But here she is, coming home being hungry. I thought your job was to feed my daughter what I packed so she won't be hungry. And then like she ate all the food that I packed and then she goes like, Mommy, I'm still hungry. I'm just like, maybe I know something more than she knows about my daughter. She's backseating harder than Slay the Spire YouTube comment section. I was thinking like if she were to say anything like this on my Twitch stream, oh my gosh. In a lightning bolt speed. In the speed of light, she would be banned. I'll be like, excuse me, I know my daughter more than you do. What? Banned! But I'm just like, oh yes, please. We pay your money. I'll do whatever you say, please. Please take a good care of her so we can work, please, so we can pay the bills. Thank you. Just ignore what's she gonna do about it? That's why I need Ryan. I need Ryan to listen to what she says and naturally just forget it, to relay the message, and then we're good. I'm happy that he's happy, and Luna's happy. The only unhappy person is the daycare provider, but whatever. She can suck it. Yes, my daughter eats more than average. What you gonna do? I'm the one who's giving her the food. Cause I don't know, maybe usually when I say this, Ryan goes like, you're thinking too much, but it's just the stuff, it's just the way I am, cause I'm way too self-conscious, but you know, maybe cause I look young, and she goes like, oh, that's a new mom, she doesn't know how to raise her daughter, and maybe she's backseating in a way to help me, but it is definitely not needed. But I'm, you know, it's alright. I feel a lot better by talking to you guys. Usually, I feel like what happens most of times is that any streamers would be like, oh man, my chat was backseating so hard. And then they would banter with their friends. But we're reverse. I banter about reality stuff with my chat. And I feel better. And then you guys get some entertainment out of it. And we're like both happy. To me, I like the banter between the parents. Because the parents, they never backseat. Because they are already, like, they're going through the same thing, right? So they don't backseat about your own children. And so I like to chat with the parents. But then Ryan doesn't even like to chat with the parents. So he said he just parks right in front of the entrance. And then he just stays in the car until the daycare provider brings out all the kids. And then he just goes out, snatch Luna, and then put her in the car seat in the car, and then like drives away. And I was like, "Are you serious? You're not even gonna like you don't even go out and say hi or anything?" And then Ryan's like, "Nah, dude." I don't wanna talk to with these parents. So very Ryan. That's so Ryan. It's like the Ryan is my shield. He does make my life easier by shielding me from dramas and stress. Oh man, did I tell you guys yesterday? Our daughter is now that she's toddler now, right? So she's going a little crazy. And then instead of crying, she screams. She goes like, ah! And then nobody wants to hear a baby scream. That's just really loud. And so I told her like, you cannot scream anymore. Do you know why Daddy is bald? Daddy's bald because he screams a lot. You know, when Daddy goes to work, do you hear him scream all the time? Yeah, that's why he's bald. And then ever since then, Luna has not screamed, so I think it's working. And she's like, I asked her, do you want to be bald? And she's like, no. I'm like, you don't want to be bald like Daddy, right? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, then you cannot scream anymore. Or you gotta go bald. So if there are any parents in the chat right now, if you have any bald relatives, use the same trick. It's working. And even Ryan has braced it. He said like, you cannot scream and you cannot be screaming right now. Daddy screamed a lot when he was baby and now I'm bald. You don't want to be bald like Daddy. And she stopped screaming. It works. Luna's gonna have nightmares about going bald. No, she doesn't have nightmares, but she's scared of monsters right now. And then yesterday I taught her. We're such a freaking funny parents. Yesterday I taught her how to punch, and I freaking punched like, you know like how nerds when they think they're like Super Saiyan and then fighting like Super Saiyan, but then if you look at them, like they look like freaking nerd and weeb. That was like me punching, and I was like, when you see a monster, you punch like this, and I just like look like a freaking weeb, right? And then she was copying me, and I was like, good. So when you see any monsters, you punch like that, and they'll be scared and they'll run away. And I was like, I was laughing my ass off. And then, before she went to bed, Luna was like, I want to say goodnight to Daddy too. So I was like, okay, Ryan, come up here. She wants to say goodnight. And then she said the same thing, like, Daddy, I'm scared of monsters. And then I didn't say anything before to Ryan. And then Ryan's like, when you see a monster, you give him a knee kick like this. Kick. And he was like kicking with the knees. And then so she was learning kicking with the knees after I was teaching her how to punch with the fist. And then, and I was like laughing so hard because it's like how are we so similar? Like Ryan and I, like how are we so similar? And then I was pretending that I was punching, and then Ryan was pretending that he was getting hit by my punches. And I thought it was so funny, because, like, he was getting, like shaking his body, like, oh my gosh. And then Luna was like, let's punch Daddy together. 3, 2, 1. And then we're both just, like, just, like, moving our fist in the air and just, like, and then Ryan was like, it was so funny, man. It was so funny. And I thought we're great parents. Like that was really funny. And then she had a great time, and then she went back to sleep, and then like everything was good. if you see a monster, pull out your cursed Muramasa katana and then slay them. Well, first you have to unlock your left eye, which has the black dragon sleeping within your left eye. You have to unleash him. And then pull out the katana. This is how bullies are made. You got nothing to worry about. If a bully were to throw punches the way that I taught her, it's only gonna make anybody laugh. It's not gonna hurt nobody. Like I said, the way I was teaching her to throw punches were like a weeb trying to throw punches like Naruto. They're, you know, like how weebs, they think like they watch Naruto and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to be a ninja, and then they do like mimic all the punches and stuff. But then if you were to see them, like they just look like a weeb. That was basically how I was throwing punches, and that's how she was throwing punches. It was so funny. This is how she's gonna get bullied? No way. She's way too pretty. She's way too, like, cute and pretty to get bullied. They're gonna be like, you cannot bully this girl. She's too pretty and cute. Hot privilege. I think there's a little, you know, there's a little bit of that, right? And the world is not, the universe is not fair. You know, if you're hot and cute and sexy, you know, the world's gonna be nicer to you. So am I ugly? It's alright. I got bullied my entire life. Let's just say we were not hot. I still remember, Chet. To me, you are the same Chet as the chatter when, so Ryan said, this was like 11 years ago, right? Ryan said, I have a girlfriend. And then everyone was like, oh my gosh, NL has a girlfriend. And they were trying to find who this girlfriend was. And I had in my university, I had a Japanese project that I had to make a video of like conversation in Japanese. It was very cringe. But the person who had the most view got the A+. So I asked Ryan to like have his viewer to watch my project video so they will get A+. And then people were like, whoa, I heard this video has NL's girlfriend. Let's find the NL's girlfriend. And there were 3 girls and 3 boys in the project video. And out of 3 girls, no one guessed me. And I was so hurt. There were 3 girls, and I was the least attracted. I'm crying. There was a girl that had like full makeup on. You know, like for me, I just look like a nerd, right? Like I just wore the university sweater, sweatpants, no makeup, nothing, just like, you know, a little weeb. And then there was a girl, she had a tattoo, she had like a skirt on, she had a fully makeup face. Everyone was like, that girl is NL's girlfriend. That girl, it gotta be that girl, it gotta be that girl. Nobody said like me was NL's girlfriend. I was crying. And I still am crying to this day. Can you find this video? I don't think so. Because I didn't upload it. It was my friend.
We should let this video... We shouldn't have used it as a popularity contest in the first place. But it's been 11 years. We gotta let these strangers have their privacy.
Yeah. It's not... It's unlisted. It's not on YouTube. I searched it. It was not there.
It's been, these people didn't know what they signed up for getting into a group project with you in 2012.
Well, they should have thought better.
I kind of blame the teacher for...
That's true. Why ask us to upload it on YouTube?
Well, why give the highest marks to the person who gets the most views? All the videos are going to be pure ass anyway.
Excuse me? Our video was not pure ass. Our video was pretty good. It was us prepping sukiyaki and eating sukiyaki and then going, watashi wa sukiyaki ga suki desu. Sou desu ne. Watashi mo sukiyaki ga suki desu. we had a script and everything. The girls, 3 girls, arrived to the boys' house with the ingredients, and then we prep sukiyaki, and then we chat, and we talk about how to cook sukiyaki, and then we cook the sukiyaki and we eat the sukiyaki, and then we say bye-bye, and then that's the end of the video. That was a good video. It's just very cringy because it's like, you know, everyone's trying to learn the language. And then it's like, when we come to the boys' house, we go like, "오자마시마스," and then all the boys go like, "Ah, irashai." It's like basically in Japan, nobody would say that. Had to record us having some kind of definitely not scripted conversation in front of the teacher. Oh man. I think until I die, it will still be the definition of how online people, when they're searching for online celebrities' girlfriend, they're gonna pick the hottest looking girl. It's alright, Chid. You'd be like, oh, it's okay, Kate, you're very cute. They don't know what they're talking about. It's alright. You don't have to make me feel better. You're only making me feel worse by trying to make me feel better. We went to the department store and asked the teacher what time it was. Then had to rush back to the airport to go home. Ima, 何時ですか? Ah. 今12時です。おー、大変。12時飛行機行かなくちゃ。Ah. Bye bye. Ah, bye bye, sensei. I can already see it. I can already see. Oh man. Okay, so should we try to make it feel worse? No! It's okay, just leave it be. Maybe you were the hottest one and no one guessed you because they figured you were out of NL's league. No, it's okay. I was very weeb. You know, I understand this fully. I understand this inside and out. They want their online celebrity to date the hottest chick in the pool. You know, that you don't want your internet celebrity to date some least attractive looking. And I wasn't there trying to make myself attractive. I was there wearing university hoodie with the sweatpants. You know, I didn't even cut my hair. Like, my hair was, like, long-ish. How did you get a copy of our Japanese 101 class skit? You know, it's just... it's so... I've been there, man. I think it's hilarious you kids talking shit about Ryan. You wouldn't say his shit to him at Ian. He's jacked. Not only that, he was wearing the freshest clothes, eats at the chillest restaurants, and a land hangs out with the hottest dudes. Y'all are pathetic. I'm honest this. I feel like I missed out on a meme. I'm pretty sure everyone else had like 20 views, and because of Ryan, our video had like 1,000 views, and I was like, yo, it's so cool to have a boyfriend who's internet celebrity, because like everyone else has 20 views and here I am with 1,000 views. Crazy shit. The rich get richer. To be fair, we put a lot of effort in, and ours was actually better than rest of the groups. I don't even remember the other groups' video projects. They sucked. Ours was actually the best. If your video is on YouTube, can we watch it? No, it's unlisted. it's unlisted first of all, and it wasn't me uploaded it. It was my friend who uploaded it. If I ask my friend, he might be able to find the video file somewhere, but then I almost have every scene like bleached onto my brain cell. So I know like every cut by cut and how embarrassing the shit is, so I will never share. And I was so shy. I'm still shy, but I was still very shy. And when I was talking, I was whispering, and I was like, ah, wakarimashita. And I was like, oh, just thinking about it, I'm dying. How did you find a partner when you're that shy? When you're playing CSGO, even the shyest person will become the bravest person. When you go like, when there was one, what was it? Terrorist and police or something? They, rush B for bald. When we disengage the bomb, and there's only like one of our teammate left, and then that person was like, you like, let's go! I'm freaking the best, I'm the best! And that's how you meet the lifelong partner with the CSGO.
Because he was moral, they called him insane. Delusions of grandeur, visions of splendor. This manic depressing, he walks in the rain. Eyes wide open. Get out of my head, Geddy Lee!